Hi guys! So I am the reader for this week or section of time, and I am doing evens only. And I'm gonna use tarot. I'm also gonna use Lenormand and follow the same rule. But it's interesting because I was gonna use these self-reflection cards. I love these so much. Um, just as journal prompts, but also, I like to guide readings with them. And it was interesting because I was taking the deck out and I was going to shuffle them. I guess we're also going to use that one too. And just kind of like, ooh, yeah. So this one was stuck in the box, and it wasn't coming out, and so it was like I took it as like a message where it's like, this is something that we really don't want to talk about, and whenever we get those, I'm always like, oh, let's talk about it. So another one that just flew off the top was, who do I envy and why do I envy them? So there's a lot of like external. The first one is, what is an unpopular opinion of mine that I hesitate to share with others? So like this has a lot to do with like this energy of like weighing the weight of your words based on the opinions of others, and honestly just like whether or not you should speak, whether or not you should like allow yourself to like have that emotion of just like, like I'm getting like a lot of energy of like, you see this one person like communicating in a certain way, and then another person, it communicates in another way, and you kind of compare yourself, and it's almost a form of envy. I don't want to say like jealousy necessarily, but there's definitely a huge vibe of self comparison. And the fact that it's like, what is an unpopular opinion of mine that I hesitate to share with others, is very much like judgment of thine self compared to others. And if there's one thing that I know, and I don't know why I said thine, so just bear with, but one thing that I've like learned, and I've been kind of like hearing specifically just through the collective recently, is just kind of like, comparison is a thief of joy. So I'm interested to see what will come out, and I kind of want to like just like, what I wanted to initially do like a reading of like, what are things that we can let go of, and I do think this is a really great topic, but I'm also interested to see what else comes up. So yeah. um Also, I'm really happy that I get to do this video wise. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I appreciate and love y'all so much. Ooh. And like I said, we're only taking evens only, which is interesting because the moon came out. We have the Fool. Oh, okay, these are like three. So we're not taking the Five of Wands. The Hierophant's 5. The Hermit is 9. The Fool technically is even. The Moon is even, yes. I had to think a second there. And just see what else comes out. I kind of love how the moon came out. This has been such a huge one. And I'm excited. Temperance is 14. Love that. And the Five of Cups in reverse. Interesting. We have the Five of Wands and the Five of Cups and the Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I don't know if y'all can see this. Okay, no. The answer is no. All right. Also, apologies for the jank setup. I am in the middle of New Year's cleaning, so it'd be a mess. Okay, I actually love that there's 3. Let's see if you guys can see them. Yes, perfect. Beautiful. Okay, so wow. Not just new beginnings, but trusting your instinct. I'm very drawn to this Fool card because it's like, it has like, it's almost like it has this ring where it's like having a commitment to trusting your instincts and knowing that like, no matter what direction you go into, you're going to land like, you're going to land fine regardless, because it's like you have this umbrella and it's like giving me like Mary Poppins floating down vibes. And it's just like you're being not just guided, but like there's a first off, it's all major arcana. Like the evens that came out were major arcana only. There were other like odds that came out, but 2 were also major arcana, which I do kind of want to like honor the ones that we're not taking in a sense, well too, where it's like, maybe you're just not either ready to hear this, or maybe this is something that it's like, you've been kind of pushing off to the side. So I did also want to use like the prompt incorporated as well. But the fact that we have the Fool here, and it's all about like trusting your instincts and trusting in this next step, in this next direction, in this new chapter, aka the new year, literally tomorrow, for US. But USA, USA. Okay, sorry. But also this need for like the moon, the moon, moving over to the moon card is all about like the darkness that we're not looking at. Like the fact of the matter is that like all of these all of these things, all of these overlooked aspects of yourself because you're comparing them to other and you're not allowing it to breathe and have its own voice is almost kind of robbing the world in a sense where you're like, oh yeah, but they're doing this and I'm not doing it as great as this. And that's kind of, you know, with love and light horseshit. Because everybody here vibrates at a unique frequency and brings their own, you know, I heard guns to the table, but like I'm not like guns. I like arm guns. Like muscle guns. Don't mind me. So, but another thing with the moon card here too is like the moon card also talks about like this notion of society to kind of shut away or push away notions that don't fit or don't belong. And I feel like you're taking on this kind of like very societal lens in when it comes to things and aspects of yourself that you're not allowing to breathe. And one of them I do feel like you have to do actually take this like prompt into effect is like, who do I envy and why do I envy them? Instead of looking at envy as such a bad trait necessarily, like that's one thing I'm going to just share. Like I had a friend who like owned a house and had this beautiful kitchen and like, you know, she had a husband, she has a kid, and I was like, you know, and there were aspects of her that I really envied, and I actually really appreciated that envy because it showed me the things that I strive for now. And now I have clear visions because it's like, oh, like who are the people that I envy and how can I look up to them instead of not just being jealous? Like, how can I see how they got there so that way I can take notes and take steps towards my future and the things that I want in the way I want my future to look like. So that way I'm not just sitting here like boiling over with jealousy. I'm actually turning this into productive energy that's going to further fuel myself because temperance is all about not just balance, but like the dichotomistic thinking of like, oh, like this person has that, I shouldn't strive for that, or like this person likes this and like I shouldn't, you know, like I don't want to step on their toes. It's like, dude, you experience your own life, you experience your lifestyle, so that way you can transcend and translate your life experiences to those who are more coveted and understanding. And I love this for kind of like a spiritual group as well, because it's like all of us go through different life experiences so that way we can go through and touch our communities in our own way, because it's like you don't recognize how much of an effect your ripple causes, but your ripple causes such an effect that you don't even give yourself like enough credit. You're sitting there busy comparing yourself and shutting yourself down before you're even giving yourself a moment to just like go, hey, you know what, like what I have to say is worthwhile. And like that's the one thing where it's like this is very heavy, your vibe attracts your tribe, and I'm not sitting here saying that like this ain't a great tribe, it is. I'm just saying like you muting yourself constantly for the comfortability of others to seek within your absence of your voice is robbing not just yourself but, you know, the world. And like this honestly is not just even unfair, but it's like the fact that the 10 of the swords here, like I do appreciate this kind of like washed up kind of like look of the 10 of swords versus like the traditional 10 of swords, which actually paints a dawn through the swords. And I always like I enjoy that rendition because it's like, hey, there's you know, you've been through this journey. But I want to talk about how like the 10 of swords, like, you know, this 10 of swords is very much like washed up. Like you have literally like honestly like like choked up is another like word I want to say, but like you're like coughing up the seawater and you're sitting there going like, why did this happen, or why am I like this, or why am I keep muting myself? And in reality it's kind of like you have this kind of all or nothing mindset where it's like either a side of this, like for example, let's just use an example here, right? Let's say you want to do a manifestation workshop, or you want to do you want to write a manifestation book or something, but you sit there and you're surrounded by like Abraham Hicks and Louise Hay and like you know, Joe Desperanza, and like you have all these books in front of you and you're like, oh damn, well I guess I really shouldn't like write this book because there's so many amazing and other wonderful people around me. But you don't recognize that, like, what if the way you described your book is necessary for people down the line, people maybe like even younger or older generations, to understand the language too. Like, you don't understand, like, you taking this like huge, not just leap of faith, but leap of faith towards yourself, to understand that like your voice not just matters, it needs to be heard. And like, the fact that it's like there's this, like, the number one thing that did not want to come out was, what is an unpopular opinion of mine that I hesitate to share with others. This is huge. Like, in temperance is this like understanding of trust, not just in the divine but within yourself as well, because it's like, it's not all or nothing. It's like, it's okay to also still hesitate. It's okay to also be like coy about your ideas, coy about like in doing that research, but recognizing that you putting yourself on mute and you not slowly upping the volume of your voice, or you screaming too loudly, it's like, it doesn't have to be two extremes. What it does have to be is delivered in one way or another. And temperance very much like Mars Mars rover marks this understanding and this like real beautiful balance of like, you know what, like temper, like chocolate, or you know, when you add eggs into butter or something, like you have to do this a little bit at a time, so that way you get comfortable. So like, this is one thing where it's like, and I guess I have to explain the temper thing really quick. So like, for example, when you're baking something and you have to put hot butter or eggs into something that's warm, like for example, like I was gonna say leche flan, but like creme brulee, like you have to temper the egg mixture so that way the eggs don't scramble, or else you'll have to sieve it, or the eggs scramble and it makes the texture very like, I don't know how you would, tacky, I guess tacky would be like TACKY. So when you temper something, you do a little bit at a time. So you're not being asked to be like, that's it, all or nothing, jump in here, start screaming your viewpoint from the heavens. Like, you're just being asked, hey, you know, if someone else is out there and you really want to like if you want to become an influencer or something, start by posting comments. You know, like that's how I built up like my courage to be able to start posting stuff. Like, I started putting myself out there by the smallest thing. I was just like, I'm gonna put a little bit of love in the comment section, and I started there. And like, you slowly start building yourself up. It's like a really good workout routine. It's like, you don't sit there and you start running with 5 miles. You start with walking with like 5 minutes a day, you know, and you start building and building and building and building and building. And a lot of this beautiful energy is really truly not even just going to help you with all the things that you feel conflicted of, it's going to help you grow. And the one thing you're just being asked to do is have the courage to really face this, because there's a lot of beautiful things on the other side of you not facing it. And you know, like, I know it's only even, so I'm honoring that, but I just really wanted to see like these other cards where it's like, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, the Hierophant in reverse, and the 5 of Wands in reverse. So they, like, these two are very much like, when they're in reverse energy, I take them as kind of like resolution, or growing or glowing up from these like conflicts or these like distressful like times where you're just beating yourself up. So it's like, in order for you to get past this energy that you don't want to face, it's going to take like these even cards, where it's going to take you having some faith and building up and reflecting, and honestly having a courage of looking at yourself and looking at how you kind of like misdirect almost your reflections into outside sources rather than internally. Because the Moon card in reverse also is giving me like a lot of external like reliant energy, when in reality this is a huge time and turn for you to really just come into balance with yourself by looking at the things that you take into extremes. And with the 5 of Wands energy here, and the Hierophant and the Hermit, like this, a lot of like external energy, and the Hierophant also too, it's like a lot of like chaos, and not in a bad, not, well, yes, kind of like not necessarily in a bad way, but like, you know how like feminine energy is chaotic, but like in a good way, where it's like it clears things. This is chaos that doesn't necessarily have to be chaos, but it's because you've been kind of running and skittering around the bush for doing this work and doing and looking at this stuff and going, hey, like, let me ask the rough questions to myself and go, like, why do I sit here and think that my voice isn't as important? Why do I find jealousy in this person? Why do I find envy? Like, what is it that I envy about them? And start having these courage is going to give you a lot more strength and courage, and honestly a lot more quote unquote control um in the way that you operate moving forward. And I really, really do think that it's super important for you to honor the fact that like your voice not just needs to be heard, it needs to be recognized, and it needs to be like loved. I'm interested to see what will come of this when you do that work. What will come when you do that work? Cloud 6. Okay, so yeah, a lot of clearing, a lot of clarity. These are Lenormand cards. And 16 stars, so like a lot of, oh, I love this. So it's like a lot of hope, and I love that like these are, oh, 6 is my favorite number too, and like the 6 in every single sweet, just gives me the warm and fuzzies, because this is a lot of like love, not love like romantic love, but like there's just a lot of like love and hope and enlightenment and a lot of clarity that's going to come with the fact that like things aren't going to be like you're like you I'm also getting like these could be one of two ways. Like you can continue to like cloud this up and you can continue to like kind of push things under the rug, but you're going to be denying yourself not just enlightenment, because I kind of see like the pyramids here too, but it's like a lot of ancient wisdom, a lot of like, honestly, the stars in the Lenormand is like one of the most beautiful and prosperous cards other than the heart, so, and fish. But the fact of the matter is like you have like a lot of not just enlightenment, but like a lot of light, period, that will come in, that will also show you it's like, whoa, I've been operating this way and I've been missing out. Like there will be a little bit of a level of frustration, but you have to kind of like allow yourself to feel that love and feel that appreciation for the fact that you are here now and not the what you've been missing out this entire time by muting yourself. So yeah, I hope y'all got some goodness out of that. I love you guys very much, and I can't wait until I'm picked again soon. Love you. Yuki signing off. Bye.